YAHAWAH YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI W4Y.
Give the Son is given all praise to our power, YAHAWAH our God. The Lord is the other apostle, great milestone, who will teach more. Peace, satisfaction, hope, and blessed God abroad. Praise to Rocky, when I'm up. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to you, man.
Shalom, Nasrallah. All right, we are your brothers, YAHAWASHI W4Y, out in Htown, preaching the good news of the return of our Lord and Savior, YAHAWAH, and the kingdom being at hand, down from Babylon, and getting murdered. All right, Brother Malkiah, Brother Noon with me. All right, Lord willing, this edifying faith at the point. All right, pretty much going to go into the famine of the word coming real soon. All right, famine of the word, famine of being able to get this truth, to get this wisdom and knowledge. It's about to come to a halt soon. It's called a extreme famine. All right, so we want the scripture to speak for itself. It's going to be quick hitter, Lord willing. All right, so the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verses 20 through 33. All right. It says, wisdom shouts in the street. She cries out in the public square. She calls to the crowds along the main street, to those gathered in front of the city gate. All right, that's when you see these prophets, when you see these men on the highways and byways. They're out in these public squares, these places where there's people on the main streets, right? These are the men that's crying out in the public places. These men call to the crowd along the main street. These are the men who you see prophesying, highways and byways, highways and hedges. Okay. How long, you simpleton, will you insist on being simple-minded? All right, that's 2/3. How long will you mockers release your mocking? All right, so how long you mockers, you scoffers, are going to continue doing what you're doing? All right. How long will you fools hate knowledge? Come and listen to my counsel, right? To these teachings, right? Take heed to the elders, the apostles, our big brothers, all the men that teach the same doctrine. All right. How long will you mockers release your mocking? How long will you fools hate knowledge? Come and listen to my counsel. I will share my heart with you and make you wise. All right. Our power is going to share, his mind, his wisdom and knowledge, all right, with you and make you wise. All right, but the 2/3 ain't gonna get it. I called you so often, but you wouldn't come. All right, 2/3. All right, you got a great portion of our nation that comes across these teachings, but they won't come. All right, I reached out to you, but you paid no attention. You ignored my advice. All right, you 2/3, you ignored the prophets, the servants of prophets of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI on highways and byways. You just go right past them. These teachings, you come across these teachings on YouTube, right? You don't even click on it. You gotta click on something that's going to entertain you, something folly, instead of clicking on something that's going to save your life. All right. You ignored my advice and rejected the correction I offered. So I will laugh when you are in trouble. I will mock you when disaster overtakes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm. When disaster engulfs you like a cyclone, and anguish and distress overwhelm you. Right? So when you start catching pure hell, scoffers, you mockers, those who rejected the correction, who ignored the advices. Hey, once you start catching hell, our power is going to laugh at you. Okay, verse 28. When they cry for help, right, the 2/3, I will not answer. Though they anxiously search for me, they will not find me. And you ain't gonna be able to find the prophets of YAHAWASHI because they are the vessels, the mouthpieces of our power. So you ain't gonna find them. All right. If you can't find the prophets, you ain't gonna find the Lord. YAHAWASHI W4Y. For they hated knowledge and choose not to fear the Lord YAHAWASHI W4Y. We did a lesson on that yesterday, how it's a commandment to fear our power. Right? They rejected my block. It says, for they hated knowledge and choose not to fear the Lord YAHAWASHI W4Y. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way, choking on their own schemes. For simpletons turn away from me to death. Fools are destroyed by their own complacency. But all who listen to me will live in peace. Right? Only the 1/3, the elect. The men, women, and children, right? Only those whose names are written in the book of life are going to listen. They're going to live in peace. It says, but all who listen to me will live in peace, untroubled by fear of harm. All right. So you got men out there that's constantly, shouting wisdom in the streets, but people are going to, the 2/3 of our people are going to continue ignoring it. They're not going to take heed to it. As the scripture says, there'll come a time where they shall not be able to endure sound doctrine. All right, they can't endure the sound doctrine. Okay. All right. What's in here right now? Get that. Go to Isaiah 24 and 11.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24 and verse 11. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone.
That they mobs gathered in the streets, crying out for wine. Joy has turned to gloom. Gladness has been banished from the land. And that crying out for wine, that 2/3 are going to be crying out for, that wine can be actual strong drink. They're going to actually look for some kind of yang, some kind of wine, Hennessy, EJ, vodka, because they're going to try to drink away their suffering, because they catching pure hell. But also that wine is also the truth. They're going to be crying out, seeking for the prophets, the men that y'all have fucking ignored, okay? That you scoffed at and mocked at. All right. That's why the brothers going to get the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11 through 13. All right. And then the famine of the word is fastly approaching. All right. And after you get the Amos stuff, 11 through 13, then you can get the Amos, the other thing.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11 and 13. Behold, the day comes, saith the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI power, and I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst of water, or water, but of hearing the words of the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Verse 13. Verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, and shall not find it. Verse 13. That day shall the fair virgin and young men faint for thirst.
All right, so here in the NLT version, it says the time is surely coming, says the sovereign Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, when I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread or water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. And there's many scriptures that prove that there's going to be an actual famine, starvation, shortage, okay? But in this concept, it's talking about a shortage of having access to this truth, to this wisdom and knowledge that 2/3 of people just keep taking for granted. They keep ignoring, okay? All right. Verse 12, people will stagger from sea to sea and wander from border to border, searching for the word of the Lord Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, but they will not find it. Beautiful girls and strong young men will grow faint in that day, thirsting for the Lord's word. All right, so people are going to be searching all throughout YouTube, searching out through any platforms where we're able to push these teachings out on, any kind of platform, YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, TikTok, Facebook, any of these platforms, right? Because all of our channels, all of our work are going to be completely wiped out. All right, these damn devils are going to do something to where all of our work, this truth, is going to be completely wiped out. All right, they're going to completely remove the actual truth and keep these other bug out camps doctrine available, so it can cause our people to remain astray, to remain them confused. All right, and they're going to be going down to the highways and byways where they're familiar, remember seeing these very men teaching that, but they're not going to be found there. You ain't gonna be able to find the elders and the apostles on the highways where they know me prophesied at, the brothers, DMS, and all other camps that teach the same doctrine. They're not going to be found. We ain't gonna be out there trying to break down scripture to you, all hell breaking rules. No, we're gonna be in the mindset of survival, moving like pilgrims. Okay. All right, got the other Amos. Yeah.
Psalm chapter 74, verse 9. We see not our signs. There is no more any prophet, neither is there among us any that know how long.
And what is it?
And 9.
All right, so it says, we no longer see your miraculous signs. All the prophets are gone, and no one can tell us when it will end. All right, so people are not going to be able to come across these prophets. Our work, are going to be gone on these social media platforms. They ain't going to see us in the highways and byways. All right, and people are going to try to look for miraculous signs, right? But because they're not going to be able to find this truth, they're not going to be able to have a prophet tell them when it's going to end, when all hell, when Jacob's trouble is going to end, when their trials and tribulations is going to come to a halt, when it's going to end. All right. You can get that.
Yeah,
7:26. 3 and 20.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 26. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and the counsel from the ancient.
All right, so book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 26, and the key verse says, calamity will follow calamity. Rumor will follow rumor. They will look in vain for a vision from the prophets. They will receive no teaching from the priests and no counsel from the leaders. All right, because you ain't gonna find our lessons on here. You ain't gonna be able to receive those teachings, counsel. So these damn devils are going to wipe out. He's going to decree a unrighteous decree to where we cannot prophesy no more publicly. He's going to take away our what they call it free speech. He's going to take that away from us, and he's going to consider these teachings to be something demonic. He's going to put a bad name on it. He's going to make it seem like by us telling you the truth is us being terrorists and to demonize us. Okay, all right. Ezekiel 3.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 26 and 27. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house.
It says, and I will make your tongue stick to the roof of your mouth, so that you will be speechless and unable to rebuke them, for they are rebels. All right, the 2/3. All right, we're not going to be able to rebuke you because YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is going to put the third on us to not rebuke you, to not give you answers. All right, verse 27.
Verse 27. Well, but when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI power. He that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear. For they are a rebellious house.
All right, so the NLT version. But when I give you a message, I will loosen your tongue and let you speak. Then you will say to them, This is what the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI says. Those who choose to listen will listen, but those who refuse will refuse, for they are rebels. All right? So, yeah.
I don't know.
You gotta get that. All right, so, that's pretty much straight to the point, make it simple. All right? The famine of the words coming real soon. All right? You can continue to take it for granted, not taking it seriously, because when all hell starts literally breaking loose, prophecies start visiting you personally, and you want to finally come to sense and take it seriously, you ain't gonna be able to find these lessons no more. You ain't gonna be able to find it. And if you do happen to come across a prophet, one of the servants of prophets, a priest of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the spirit may be on him to where he's not going to give you the counsel, the teachings. And if the spirit does come on to these men, right, he's gonna tell you, right? He's gonna answer your question. He's gonna tell you what's going on. But if you still can't understand, if you refuse to believe, you're gonna try to lean onto your own understanding. You want to be emotional instead of being logical. All right, hey, if you can't get it, you just can't get it. All right, at the end of the day, this is only for the elect. All right, it's only for the elect. All right, but hey, if you can get it, hey, may our Lord He bless you to remain, to continue to understand. If you don't get it, hey, it's not in our power. It's YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. All right, so again, the famine of the word is fastly approaching. Take this very seriously. Make your election and calling sure. Be diligent, which means study, right? Keep studying. Keep trying to absorb as much wisdom and knowledge and understanding of it, because real soon you ain't gonna have access to none of it. All right, none of it. All right, because like it says in the book of Isaiah 33:6. Hey, get that. We'll end it with that. Isaiah 33. Was Isaiah 33:6? Yeah.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, is his treasure.
So that's why it's very important to take heed to this doctrine and be serious about it, because having the understanding of the wisdom and knowledge of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is going to keep you stable when all hell breaks loose. Jacob's trouble. You're gonna have some peace of mind, because you understand why there's a famine. You're gonna understand why people are invading one another for the lack of bread, for great tribulation. You're gonna understand why a great number of women being put to death, why women are going to be ravished. You're going to understand why little children are also receiving judgment. You're going to understand the why behind why, JT is going on. You're going to have the understanding of why this damn devil Esau Edom has that perpetual hatred for us Israelites, the so-called black, Latinos, and American Indians, right? This wisdom and knowledge is going to keep you stable. That's why in the NLT version of what the brother Htown read, the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, verse 6. In that day, he will be your sure foundation, right? He, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. In that day, he will be your sure foundation. And YAHAWASHI is known as what? He comes in the volume of the book. All right? He is the word. All right? So YAHAWASHI is going to be the one that's going to be your sure foundation, our sure foundation. So it said, in that day, he will be your sure foundation, providing a rich store of salvation, wisdom, and knowledge. The fear of the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI will be your treasure. All right? So it's very important to take heed to these teachings and keep absorbing as much wisdom and knowledge as possible. So when all hell breaks loose, you will have the understanding of why, so that you keep stable. All right? But for those who want to keep mocking, scoffing, you're not taking it seriously, all right? You're not going to be kept stable in the time to come. You're just going to be bugged the fuck out. All right? You're going to be like Chicken Little. Okay?
Good. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 15. She delivered the righteous. She goes into Sophia, wisdom. She delivered the righteous people and blameless seed from the nation that oppressed them.
This word is going to be the reason why the elect, the believers, are going to be delivered. All right? The Lord willing, let's do is edifying, straight to the point. All right? Again, take heed to these teachings real soon. It's going to be an extreme famine of His word. They keep talking about the rolling blackout. Yep. All right? So real soon, these damn devils roll out that blackout. I wouldn't be surprised that we don't have access to the internet no more. The phone tower, the communication towers are going to be shut down, so you ain't going to be able to use your phone to call somebody. You ain't going to be able to get on social media to look for any of the brothers' channels. That form of digital communication, electronic communication is going to be wiped out. The only way you're going to be able to communicate with someone, you got to literally be in the same area. You got to be up close and personal. All right? So, hey, we're going to close out by giving a much due all praise and honor and glory to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM RATAZA. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Much due respect to the Akim for labor and work. Shalom to the believers, to the Akim Aqua, to the brothers and sisters who subscribe to the truth. DTA, Abba Bahasum, Kwam Yasharala. All right, so we'll want to do edifying. On to the next one. So one.